and you buy tickets. Why do you go to the cinema, buy tickets, come back home, wait 1 week, and then go to the cinema and present the ticket and then you watch the movie? Are you interested in seeing how a discussion-led essay at IELTS is assessed? Well, you're at the right place. Welcome to IELTS Juice. Let's start assessing a discussion-led essay this time. Some people say that now we can see films on our phones or tablets. There is no need to go to the cinema. Oh, I like going to the cinema, but that's me. Others say that to be fully enjoyed, films need to be seen in a cinema. Yes. Oh, me being biased here has nothing to do with the scoring system or assessment, I assure you. It's just me, and it's just my favorite thing to do. You go to the cinema, and you enjoy watching the movie that you wanted to watch so badly on the screen. And you have this immersive experience of being in the cinema. But that's just me. It's just my opinion. So we're here to see the assessment. Basically, when IELTS says discuss both views and give your opinion, we need to discuss both views and then express our own opinion. So without further ado, let's start seeing the two camps, the two opinions, and see how they are developed in this particular essay. Candidate's response. There is no doubt that nowadays online streaming is more popular than the classic ways of watching movies. For example, going to cinemas. Okay. Online streaming, you know, online streaming is just one aspect of watching a movie. You can still go on websites and watch movies. You can buy subscriptions and watch movies. So those things are still there. Why we're limiting ourselves to just online streaming is something that we need to understand further on in the following paragraphs. But basically, I understand as a reader that the writer wanted me to see he or she knows the word online stream. Sorry. He or she knows the word online streaming, and then the writer wants us to compare it with another experience of watching movies, which is going to the cinema or cinemas in general. If you wonder, I need a comma before EG, but if you wonder why there is EG here, it's not an example. Let me tell you, because this is not an example. I know there are also open theaters. Also, in American English, you call cinemas theaters, movie theaters. I understand the whole concept. The issue I have here is that the rubric tells us to compare cinemas with staying at home, or not just necessarily home, but enjoying the movie as you go, like on a train, on metro, on your phone and on your tablet, at home or anywhere else. You're at a park, on a bench, it doesn't matter. But here we are limiting the experience to a location. That was the whole concept. I don't see it here. I feel that this essay is not going to touch on that specific aspect, although online streaming is one part of this, and going to cinema is not part of it is actually the whole opposition, is the whole concept. Bottom line, I see a little bit misunderstanding between the essay, the response here, and the rubric. Let's move on. I don't have a very good feeling about this, but let's see. That's just feeling. Let's move on. While some people agree that watching films on the digital devices, not the digital devices, we don't have any reference before that, like tablets, exactly, on digital devices like tablets and smartphones is easier. Others believe that watching films on the screen will still has more joy. Okay, one thing I wanted to mention, smartphones used to be like this, like with two words, but these days it's all one word. So is it wrong? No. IELTS will accept smartphones separately or smartphones altogether. It's fine. I just wanted to tell you, maybe you look it up and you see smartphone is written as all one word. This is not a mistake, but after a while it will become a mistake. So for now, it is okay. I don't know which year you're watching this. Every time you want to make sure if a word is correct, look it up in a dictionary. In this essay, I will discuss both sides of the argument and explore my support of the latter view. Beautiful. The accurate use of the word latter. And now I also understand that the writer is going to discuss both views, and the writer also loves watching films on the screen in theaters or in cinemas. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. The writer and I are on the same page. It's going to be fun. It is true that watching films on digital devices has become popular. It's a very good topic sentence. I like it. This is one sentence. They are easily accessible for everyone, and it's easy to use them everywhere. And it's easy to use them everywhere. I need a comma here because the subject of the first part of the sentence and the subject of the second part of this compound sentence are two different things. Okay, so they're easily accessible and easy to use. Okay. I look at them as two separate things, but the writer believes that both of them, like ease of use, either anywhere and being accessible, both of them are easy in that case. Yeah, let's read the whole paragraph, because I expect the whole paragraph to support these two elements. People can watch films whether in their beds, or on the bus on the way to work. That's good. Furthermore, they have the option to easily choose between the variety of sources of different types of movies. Good. I need a comma here. And, oh, it's the same they. Oh, no, I don't need a comma. I just, you can drop this day. And can buy or rent them online on their devices. We just generalize. Good. So yeah, they're accessible, easy to use, and you can use, basically, you can watch them everywhere. That is why some people decide to watch films on their mobiles or tablets, because we're generalizing. I would have written that is why instead of that's with apostrophe, because writing in full format is more formal. That is a suggestion. This is not an error. This is fine. But the formal variation of this would be to write it in full. And that's my suggestion. Please, if you can, write words in full. Avoid short forms or abbreviations. On the other hand, watching films in the cinema or watching films in cinemas, you need to decide, because we're generalizing, you either look at cinema as a phenomenon and you say the cinema as a phenomenon, as a concept, or you say in cinemas, you point at more than one cinema and you generalize, like all the cinemas in a certain location. Still has the joy. Oh, watching films in the cinema still has the joy. Okay. People can watch films months before they are released for digital streaming. Again, we're talking about digital streaming. I love the consistency. And the writer keeps talking about digital streaming. Fine. The writer decided to just focus on one aspect. Good. They also have the option to watch the films in theaters that offer high-end audio and video technologies, e.g., for example, IMAX, digital 3D, Dolby Atmos, etc. None of these are accessible on digital devices. Correct. Correct. You don't have these technologies on your smartphone or tablet. The drawbacks of cinemas is that the tickets, we are all of a sudden talking about the drawbacks, is that the tickets are getting so expensive, and in some areas, they are not easily accessible, and people need to commute to get to them. To get to them means to get to the cinema, or to get, what does them refer to? The tickets or the cinemas? If it's cinemas, you want to tell me that it is hard to get to the cinema, and that's a drawback? I need development. I need to see, okay, there's traffic. There are too many cars on the road, or it's hard to park. It's finding a parking spot would be difficult. Or, you have to pay separately for the parking. So no, that's not good. And then if them, but if them refers to tickets, then you need to commute to get to tickets? Huh? You commute to get to tickets? So why you buy tickets? You have to collect them beforehand? I'm not familiar with this concept. If you want to buy tickets for a cinema, you buy them. You either book tickets or you book seats online beforehand, or when you get there, you're at the cinema that shows the movie you want to watch, and you buy tickets. Why do you go to the cinema, buy tickets, come back home, wait 1 week, and then go to the cinema and present the ticket, and then you watch the movie? I am just saying, I want to point out how it is important, or maybe confusing, to say a word like this that you don't know what the reference is. I'm going to put a lesson about reference in the description below. Take a look at it, please. Anyway, to sum up, although many believe that watching films on portable devices is easier, my firm belief is that the supporters of the idea that watching films in the cinemas, I think I need a comma here, that watching films in the cinemas is more enjoyable yeah, this comma is now is justifiable, have the upper hand on this topic. Okay, the writer believes that watching the movie in the cinema is more enjoyable than just basically watching it on the go or on a phone, on a small device. But the writer's opinion is just stated. I am not fully convinced why, on what grounds the writer believes it is more enjoyable. I am happy that the writer 100% agrees with one camp, the supporters of watching movies in a movie theater, or also known as cinemas. I am just not convinced. I just see the writer says, yeah, I'm for this one. That's it. There isn't much context. So in this case, the idea is only presented and it's not sufficiently developed. You only address the topic, and not the other elements were addressed, but the writer's opinion is only stated. I know it is 100% in line with the second paragraph. I'm not sure it gives away correct meaning. Anyway, okay. Let me start by coherence and cohesion, and this really annoyed me in this essay. We had referencing issues. Not in many instances, but the ones that were present actually affected a little bit my understanding. And you were with me that I struggled in a couple of sentences to really understand what the reference is. The structure of the essay was logical. We talked first about the group that believes tablets and phones are fine. And then we talked about the second group, which loved cinemas. And the third was the writer's opinion in the conclusion. That was fine. And the progression was also fine, because at every moment, at every paragraph, I was aware where I am, or where I was, and what I'm reading about. I was there. There was a little bit overuse of word and in many instances, I had to put comma before that. And the paragraphing is okay, just the conclusion could have been better. It's just a simple conclusion. As for task response, all three elements, all the three main ideas, the two camps and the writer's opinion, were addressed. Two of them, the two camps, were sufficiently developed. But the fact that the writer believes in one camp was just stated, and it was inadequately developed. Now, I needed more connection. I needed to see that the writer really believed in the people who go to the cinema. That was stated. But I needed to also see that the writer believes on what grounds. So based on this and that was discussed in the paragraph earlier, related to it, I agree with this. I agree with this group. I would like to see movies in a movie theater or cinema. That wasn't there. And it felt like the writer just mentioned his opinion by just saying it in just one sentence. IELTS wants you to also develop that. You don't have to come up with a separate paragraph. Your idea is 100% in line with the people who go to the cinema. Fine. But don't just say that, and I agree with the second group. That is just addressing the task. That is not development. So you also need to say that, okay, after analyzing the two parts, based on this and that, I believe watching movies in a movie theater is my option. That is something you can say that, yeah, I already developed it. I don't have to develop it. I just state it. It has already been developed. And that is the key. It's just a small change, but that's a big difference between stating your opinion and stating and developing your opinion. That is different. I know it is difficult to say these words. You actually need to write and see, and you need to practice. I urge you to watch other videos on this channel about assessment whose task response has a higher score than this. And you will understand what I actually am talking about. You can actually see the sentences there. Anyway, the vocabulary errors were not vocabulary errors. They were more like referencing errors. So basically, the vocabulary was fine. And I like the range. I saw some technology names, IMAX, I don't know, Dolby Digital Sound, whatever. So they're very genre specific, but they were stated as like samples, like one after another. I couldn't be able to see them in context. And the grammar was also okay. There were some complex structures. They weren't error-free, but the number of errors in complex structures was fewer than the number of errors, punctuation errors you could see in simple sentences. And yeah, generally speaking, the majority of grammatical errors were punctuation mistakes. All in all, it's a solid 6.5. On that note, I hope you also enjoyed the challenge this discussion-led essay had for us. Make sure to address these challenges in your writing practice and writing tasks. And I hope I'll see you again. Until then, have a lovely day ahead.